WHCS Sports, Channel 5 presents Group AAA State Semifinals, the Bethel Bruins versus the Hugenot Falcons. From the University of Virginia campus in Richmond, Virginia, I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz and head coach Bill D of the Phoebus Phantoms. We welcome you to a frosty University of Richmond Stadium. The temperature at our game time is in the mid to low 30s, a wind chill of probably 40 below. It is terrible football conditions. I'm so used to saying what a perfect night for football. Bob, Bill, this is going to be a tough night for these young men to play football, but I guess you get to this level, you really don't care that much about the weather.
Well, you're ready to play. The field is, you're going to have a great field because it's artificial turf. It's a little different for the Bruins the first time they played on it. Hugenot got to play last week on it, practiced all week on it, so they've got a definite edge. But coming into the game, Bethel feels very, very confident. They don't have any injuries. They had a great practice yesterday, filmed a practice, and ready to go. Bill, have you seen this Hugenot team at all this year?
I haven't seen them on film at all this year. Only the things that I have read in the paper and picked up from the coaches. I talked to some of the coaches before the game. So I know they've played pretty well the last couple of weeks in the playoffs. As far as the weather goes, once you've gotten this far, I don't think you care too much about the weather as a coach or as a player. So I don't think that'll be a big factor. And I think as far as the surface goes, going from grass to turf is not that, I don't think will be that much of a factor. I think if you had to play on artificial turf all the time and go to grass, that might be a problem. But I don't think this is going to be a problem. If anything, it might benefit Bethel with all their team speed.
Well, that was my feeling too, because Bethel has great team speed. As we see listen to the crowd as the Bethel Bruins are coming onto the field. This is so different, Tim, from last week when we had a field that had water standing around it and that sort of thing. So we're at this point, we're looking at a, that's mine. We're looking at a drier field, but you're right. Team speed, I think, is on the Bethel side. This team, Hugenot plays a wing back, and Kaz was telling me their offense very similar to what he saw Norcom play.
Right. Well, if you're a wing T team, you're gonna see a lot of misdirection counters and that type of thing, and bootleg pass, which is something that Norcom ran a lot of, and play action passes. From what I have heard about them, they mix, their offense is pretty well balanced. They've got a kid that throws the ball well, a kid that runs well, and two good receivers. So they've pretty well balanced on offense.
This Hugenot team, of course, comes into this game not nearly as proficient playing defense as the Bethel Bruins. The Huguenots, the Falcons average about 27 points a game, but they allow almost 15 points a game, and on 5 different occasions this season allowed 21 or more points in a game. So they can score points, but they can also be scored upon.
Well, one thing that you have to say for the Bethel Bruins probably in the last 3 games is that their defense has really risen to the occasion, that their defense has probably played as well together as a defensive unit as any Bethel team I've seen, and as any team has played, Bethel played this year. They have shut down good teams. In the last 3 weeks, they have beat 3 undefeated teams, 2 of them nationally ranked. So you're talking about a team that played the top teams in the Eastern District.
Well, they've really played well the last 3 weeks when they've really had to. I think it comes down to defense and kicking game in the close games anyway. Offense has been pretty consistent, so I agree with you.
All right, while we have an opportunity, they're introducing the starting lineups for both teams. Let's show you the offensive and defensive lineups for the teams. The Bethel Bruins, by the way, will receive to start this game.
No, they will kick off to start the game.
I'm sorry, you're absolutely correct. They will kick off to start the game. They will be, they lost the toss of the coin, so they'll be on defense initially. So as you see, they are being introduced on your screen right now. The Bruins on defense, Gaskell and Williams will be the guards. The tackles will be Dean and Hargraves. Boy, what a great job this defensive team has done in the last 3 games. Brandon Chenault, number 33, will be one of the ends, as will Wilton Evans, and he was our player of the game, of course, against the Norcom Greyhounds with those 2 long second half field goals. Xavier Gunn and Robinson will be the linebackers. Devan Hill, Alfred Terrell will be the corners, and Allen Iverson, Mr. Excitement, will play safety on defense for the Bruins.
I tell you, you're right. It's been a great defense. We'll get a chance to look, and then there's a good shot of the Hugenot Falcons, who also are green and gold. It's a little different color green than what the Bethel Bruins are. We'll look at their offensive team because they will be on offense, and they will be going from our left to our right as the Bruins will defend the goal to our right, Tim. And here we see the offense. At center we have McKenzie. The guards are Fordham and Thorpe. The tackles are Satchel and Underwood. At end positions for the Falcons. There we go, Porter and Graves. The wing back is Langhorn. The backs are Harris. Finney is the one you want to watch, number 22, and the quarterback, Anthony Coles, number 11.
And, of course, they're coached by McPhee.
Richard McPhee, right.
And he's the head coach there. And, of course, Kozlowski, Dennis Kozlowski is, of course, the head coach at the Bethel Bruins. Those are the offensive and defensive lineups for at least the initial part of the ballgame. But getting back to these two teams, the Hugenot team had to defeat John Marshall to get here. Did so 12-6 last week, and defeated the John Marshall team twice during the season. Those were the only losses suffered by John Marshall, incidentally. And of course, the Bethel Bruins, all of the fans who follow Bethel know that they're 10-2, but they could be 12-0 if it weren't for 4 measly little points. 3-point loss to Denby and a single-point loss to Bill D's Phantoms.
Well, I was going to say, one of them is to this coach right here to my right.
And we're not going to give him that 1 point.
He's not going to do it. But that, of the games that we have done in a long, long time, I can go back and say the 2 most exciting high school football games I've ever seen was the Phoebus Bethel game and last week's Bethel Norcom game.
Yeah, I'd have to put it in that same category. Certainly anyone who enjoys a good, hard-hitting contest. And there you see Allen Iverson warming up on the sidelines. He is such a tremendous asset to this Bethel team. Allen, of course, plays a great job at safety. He had 8 interceptions on the season. He runs back kicks. He had 6 runs back on kicks, punts and kickoffs for touchdowns. And then when he gets through doing that, he plays the quarterback role on offense and does a tremendous job in that area. Bob, I think that Hugenot obviously is going to have to stop Allen Iverson if they expect to stop Bethel.
Well, I agree with that, but I also think that Bethel's going to be able to run the ball on them. I think that we're going to see Michael Jackson play a real important part in this offense tonight. And I believe the defense will do a lot for the Bruins, but I believe that we're going to see Michael Jackson do a lot more than he did against Norcom, Bill.
Well, Jackson's done a great job for him all year, and I think that's something that Cos would like to see is some balance in his offense. Norcom was very tough against the run, and I think they knew that going into the game, which is probably one reason why they depended more on the pass. But I think they'll try to get more balance in their offense to keep them off stride and defensively. And Hugenot's given up some points, so evidently people have moved the ball on them. I think you will see some more balance in tonight's attack.
Well, Bill, let me ask you a question. Now, I talked to Kaz earlier in the week. He said that Richard McPhee would only change 2 tapes with him. And he said he wanted the last 2 games, which was the Lake Taylor and the Norcom. Well, Bethel's regular offense was not in either one of those 2 games. Do you think that will be a definite advantage for the Bruins tonight?
I think it always helps if they haven't seen everything you can throw at them. I'm sure Kaz has done a lot of things during the season, just like we all do. And if he's going to have a few adjustments he's made from looking at film and a few wrinkles, like last week he had the flanker screen, which was a big play in that game.
And here we can see the head coaches for the Bethel Bruins, of course, Dennis Kozlowski, and for Hugenot, Richard McPhee.
I'm going to take just a moment, gentlemen, to recognize the assistant coaches. I know Bill is very much aware of how important the assistant coaches' staffs are to these 2 teams. For the Hugenot Falcons, James Mayo, Michael Bailey, Michael Liggins, Kenny Jones, Bob Hewlins, Benny Blocker, William Dillon, Willie Randolph, and Wayne Booker are the assistant coaches for the Hugenot Falcons. And you want to do the likewise thing here for
along with Dennis Kozlowski, of course, he's got Roger Bouchard, who's been with him as long as Coach Koz has been coaching. Larry Estep, Mr. Incremenus Sr., Creighton Incremenus Jr., Victor Morgan, Neil Thaxton, trying to get this where I can read that thing. We also have Mr. Wallace, recent graduate from University of Virginia, who is also helping Kaz, graduated last year, is also helping him. So he's got a lot of help and gives a lot of credit to his staff.
You were watching the ceremony of the tossing of the coin. Of course, as we mentioned to you, it had been held earlier, and Hugenot will receive the ball to start the ball game. As Bob said, they'll be going from our left to our right here at Richmond Stadium. And again, we emphasize, Bill, you feel like the weather won't have a major factor. By the way, let me interrupt you before you say something and recognize the officials for tonight's game. Doug Beatty is the referee, Richard Thomas the umpire, the linesman is Mark Driscoll, Tim Barley will be the line judge, the back judge will be Carson Kelly. Beginning back, if I will, to the weather situation. Of course, in spite of the fact that, yes, these young men are all fired up for this game, that ball is going to be hard to handle at times because of the coldness on the fingers, though, don't you think?
Well, I think it will have some effect, but the thing you have to do as a coach is to tell them that a lot of that is mental. They have to work through it, get through the early part of the game, get warmed up, start hitting people, start getting after the ball, and not think about it. If you start thinking about it, then it becomes a real problem.
That's a good point. Sometimes it becomes a mental game that you have to tell yourself that this is just like any other game. You're going to go out there and you're going to play, and you're going to do what you've been doing all year.
You're in Miami. Think about Miami. And
well, if the Bruins get to play to Miami, I'm definitely going.
The Bruins come into this game with 3 victories in a row, and of course those 3 games are well documented. The Hampton Crabbers was the first of those 3. Then that was followed, of course, by Lake Taylor, a 25-7 victory, and then of course last week's 18-17 late second half rally by the Bruins over the previously undefeated Norcom Greyhounds. And we are about set to go as Wilton Evans has the ball teed up for the Bruins, and his kick is in the air and underway. It's taken on the run at the 23-yard line, and bursting up the middle to the 40-yard line go the Huguenots. The Falcons will have good field position for this first possession.
Well, that was 32 for the Bruins in on the stop.
I believe that was Langhorne who returned the kick.
And that was Matt Harris who made the stop, Tim.
And then Matt Harris. Now that's a name we're happy to hear back in there for the Bruins, number 32. You see the replay almost broke that up the middle. Looked like Robinson, 58, may have also been instrumental in that stop. Man in motion to the near side. Trying to turn that left corner and no success at all. Number 22 is your ball carrier, Finney, Leon Finney, and he lost yardage.
Well, Tim, 25 for the Bruins, who is one of the halfbacks, and Kaz calls him his munchkins. That's Alfred Terrell, who's only 5'7", 130, came up from his defensive back and did a great job, Bill.
Yeah, what they did here is brought the wing back in motion, and it became an unbalanced line, and they tried to outnumber Bethel. But Bethel does such a good job stringing it out, and Evans he really made the play, and then the corner came up and finished him off.
A 3-yard loss on the play, 2nd down and 13 for the Falcons. 12-minute quarters in high school football. Any other discrepancies we'll get to. We've got movement. It looked like Gaskell jumped across and made contact, but whether he was pulled off or not, of course, will be the question. First penalty of the ball game.
And it's against the Bruins.
So they're going to say that Gaskell, in fact, did cause the penalty. I can't believe he'd reach across the line and so blatantly touch the man without having seen something that might have caused him to do that, but I guess that's possible.
Well, your adrenaline gets to flowing a little bit, Bill, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's juiced up, ready to go, and he might have blinked. Brad McCoss.
All right, so the 5-yard penalty is assessed, and now it becomes a 2nd down, and let's call it 7 for the Falcons. Again, Finney in motion. Cole's the quarterback under pressure, and he is going to be caught from behind and taken down after a short gain or maybe a loss of a yard on the play.
That's Jonathan Dean, one of the defensive stalwarts for the Bruins. He plays one of the tackle positions, and he's been in consideration of player of the game many times this year. He's just done a very standard job out there, very stalwart job.
3rd down now for the Falcons, a loss of a yard on that play. 3rd down, let's call it 8 for the 1st down. The artificial turf could be a factor tonight. One thing we won't have to worry about is any dampness on the field. It is a perfectly dry evening here in Richmond.
In fact, my shoes were squeaking when I was down there.
Coles back to pass. Feels pressure and throws it just as he is tackled. No flag, so a good job of getting the ball away to avoid the sack.
I don't know about that, but judgment call, Bill.
Well, I think he had a receiver. It was a really poor choice on the quarterback to throw that football.
Do you think that they know not to kick the ball to Iverson as we watch the replay here, Bill?
Yeah, he ran a little bootleg out of a wishbone set, and Hargraves was right on him, and he would have been better taking the sack.
Porter is the punter. His kick is away. It takes a good roll for the Falcons. Allen Iverson very dangerously picks it up at about the 22-yard line, gets it out to the 25. Boy, that was a tough situation for him to feel that bouncing ball down there. But I don't see any signal to indicate a fumble. A lot of milling around by both teams, but apparently Iverson did not fumble. And the Bruins now, we'll see the offense. The center will be Page, the guards Anders and Coulter. Tackles are Dean and Schultz, Gaskell and Walker are the ends for Bethel's Bruins. There you see Coach Kozlowski, the head coach, sans jacket. Rogers is the wide out, the fullback is Sims, the tailback is Jackson, and Iverson is the quarterback. This is Iverson rolling left, and he steps out of bounds after a loss on the play. A good defensive effort by Hugenot to force him out of bounds.
Well, one thing you're going to find anytime they kick the ball or punt the ball, Bill, and it hits, it's going to roll. As we saw the defense for Hugenot at nose guard is Thorpe, the tackles are Satchel and Fordham. The ends are Eggleston and Harrison. Linebackers are Williams and Doughton. At the defensive back positions for the Falcons, we have the linebackers, Hazelwood, Hughes, and Smith at the corners, and Porter is the safety.
2nd down and 12 after the 2-yard loss. Rolling this time to his right, Iverson turns the corner, showing that great quickness. He is finally pushed out of bounds, but about the 32-yard line. It will be short of a first down, but let's see exactly where they mark the ball.
About a yard short, Tim.
So they do, in fact, mark it closer to the 33-yard line. Just across the 33, a little bit short of the first down. Here you go on the replay, Bill.
The first two plays they've run, they faked the off tackle power play and just kept the QB keep the corner. That time they got good. He got turned the corner and almost got the first down.
Do you think he's doing that, Bill, just to kind of spread that defense out and make them more aware of what Allen can do?
I believe he's setting them up.
Iverson gets the first down on the quarterback keeper. Across the 35 to the 36-yard line. So the Bruins register their first down of the ball game. And with 9:40 remaining in the first quarter, no score here from the University of Richmond field. Tim Cole, Bob Henson, Bill D. Glad you're with us for this state semifinal Group AAA Division 5 game between Hugenot and Bethel. This time it is, I believe that's Harris on the delay.
No, I think that was number 24.
Shepard, excuse me, Charles Shepard.
Williams was in on the tackle for the Hugenot Falcons.
Coming out of the ball game is Dwayne Franks, number 14.
No gain on the play.
Wide to the left on this set, after no gain on the last play, is Kelly Rogers, the favorite receiver. He is the intended receiver. He makes the grab and is wrestled to the ground at about the 41-yard line. A gain of about 5 on the play. So again, that's a play we've seen Bethel use before, Bill. They like to get that flare pass out in the flat for Rogers.
Well, they did a good job of defense in this, Bill.
Yeah, he came up, but they got 5 yards out of it, which is what your objective is right here. He just runs a hitch, quick hitch, and he gets 5 or 6 yards, makes a good run, and now they got 3rd and 5.
3rd down and 5 after the 5-yard gain. This is Shepard right side, and Hugenot is there to defend. That was number 42 in on the stop.
Now that was Williamson, number 40, Tim.
40? Okay, good, because I don't have a 42.
I just bailed you out.
Bruce Williams. Yeah, I just want to make up a name. But
there's somebody from Hugenot, we know that.
I got between my bifocals, my glasses, and my poor eyesight, I'm having a hard time here, but I'm doing all right. Kevin Melvin will be back to punt, standing at about his 26-yard line. 2 men back for the Falcons. Long count by the Bruins. Pretty good pressure on Melvin. It's a low end-over-end kick, and good coverage by the Bruins downfield. In fact, it it took a Hugenot bounce for a moment there, and they'll have pretty good field position at about the 35-yard line.
Tim, while we have this quick change, we will pick a player from Bethel High School tonight as the DC Engraving Sports Place Player of the Game. They will receive a shirt and a plaque. The plaque comes from DC Engraving, located at Tab Square on Route 17. Dave Buckwalter is a young man out there. The shirt comes from the Sports Place, which is located at Hampton Woods Plaza on Big Bethel Road, and Dave Chubb is a young man that is there. And this is an unscientific move here.
All right, back to the live action. First down at the 36-yard line for the Hugenot Falcons. Not much happening there. Again, the Bruins defending very well against Leon Finney.
Terrell again, Tim, was up there. He's really picking up run quick, isn't he, Bill?
Well, what they're in is a wishbone set, and all they have over here is the tight end. And I'm sure he's keying the tight end. He's getting a down block. We're going to see it right now. It's just a power play from the wishbone set, and he steps right up, and that's a good play.
Well, that was a good job by number 43 for the Falcons, for the Bruins, and that's Evans.
Wilton
He
Evans.
made him cut in.
Yeah, well, that's what you want. You want to turn that in, and then corner did a great job stepping up.
No gain on the play for the Falcons. This time they get good yardage out close to the 45-yard line.
Hold on the carry. Brought by number 10, Alan Iverson.
So a pickup close to the 45. It'll be third down and about a yard.
Again, you have the same play to the left, but they have a little bit more success. They cut off the linebackers, and they got about 7 yards off the play.
So we got a third and what, about 3? What, third and 1?
Quarterback keeper, and he will get the first down depending on where they spot the ball. It looks like he may have gotten it by about the length of the football, but we'll let them take a long look at it and make sure they've spotted it correctly. They do, in fact, register.
Well, I'd ask
the first down.
I'd ask for a measurement, but I
They
guess
didn't
it's
waste
close
any time
enough.
moving those chains.
Yeah, that looked a little bit like the Eagles game last week.
Might have been, I'd ask for a measurement.
Well, actually, I think he more than made it. Watch here when they finally do spot the ball. He needed to get to the 46, and he got across the 46.
He kept his feet going pretty well, and he wedged it in there. I think it was.
By the way, Hugenot, this is Finney again, right side. Not much happening there. Jonathan Dean, among others. Hugenot
He
gets
was
my
the
vote.
first one in there, you're right.
Hugenot gets my vote for the most obnoxious uniforms because I can't read the numbers from up here.
Well, they are tough to read. I'm using my binoculars, and that's the only reason I'm getting close to them.
Well, Bethel's got the best uniforms out here, so we got that one right now. They definitely
Second down.
hard to read.
Second and 10.
No gain on the last play. Second down and 10 for the Hugenot Falcons. 4:45 remaining here in the first quarter. We are scoreless. Inside double reverse. It goes to number 21 for Hugenot. That is Terrell Langhorn.
Wait, Bethel Bruins just couldn't see him. I mean, they were there, but you couldn't see the guy.
And one thing you'll notice, those backs are really close to the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
And it was just, and he went in motion and then came back with the play. Now here's the play. Okay, then he handed
It's
it
an
back out to 21
inside
in motion. He made the cut back and got a few yards out of it.
Gain 5 on the play. Third down and 5 at the 49 of Bethel. Again, Coles wants to pass, throws it up, and completes the pass at the 35-yard line. And the Hugenot Falcons will have a first down. So Coles completes the pass. He has been very proficient in his passing this season. 56% of his passes have been for completions, 102 completions and 183 attempts.
And where did you get those statistics?
Out of the Richmond paper.
And here's the play. He fakes the crossing action in the backfield, and I believe this is the tight end crossing number 81.
Yes.
And he was right on the money. And the tight end did a good job running with the ball. Took two kids to bring him down.
Raymond Graves on the receiving end of Cole's pass. It's first down at the Bethel 30.
And that
This is Finney.
And that was the X-Man that finally got him.
Finney finally is able to get outside. He gets all the way down to the Bruin 22-yard line.
Finney shows good speed on that play.
Well, Finney had a great season, 1,385 yards rushing during the regular season.
Yeah, this was designed to get off tackle, but he just took his speed and hit the corner. I think he caught the corner, stepping inside, and he got a good game. I guess close to 10 yards since we're measuring.
Close enough for them to bring the chains all the way across the field.
That's one problem with the corner making the play on that. Now, he made the play up there earlier. You got to be careful that you don't step inside too quickly.
And a good runner will make a little dip inside like he's going to and then break it outside, and that's all you need if you got some decent speed, as Finney showed coming outside that time.
Second down and less than a yard for the Falcons. Neither team has been able to score here in the first quarter, but the Hugenot Falcons are at the Bethel 22. Second and short. A gusting wind anywhere from 20 to 30 miles an hour all throughout this ball game. This is Finney, and Finney has the first down across the 20-yard line. So Leon Finney gets the first down for Hugenot.
Defensive stop made by number 7.
They mark the ball just across the Bethel 20-yard line.
First down, Falcons.
Here they came. It's Wishbone said almost looks like a power ice set and run the ISO inside, and they got enough. They got about 3 or 4 yards. Finney looks like he hits the hole real well. Real good quickness, quick feet.
Anthony Coles, the quarterback. Wishbone formation. Coles looks, throws, and Allen Iverson picks it off at the 10-yard line. And Iverson returns it across the 25 to the 26.
And that's one thing you got to watch out about Allen. He reads quarterback's eyes real well, Bill.
Well, the last time they were effective, they ran that play effectively, but this time Allen was looking for it. It's the same bootleg pass they ran last time, and he's looking right down the middle field. Allen settles in and cuts right in front. You can't go that way too many times.
Gunn was there as well, but Iverson was the first one to the ball. And then Allen Iverson returned the interception to the 25-yard line, 26 actually. First down for the Bruins. And nothing happening. The ball comes loose. I believe they'll rule he was down before the ball popped loose at about the 25.
The ball, he got back about to the line of scrimmage.
That was Charles Shepard who carried. He may have picked up a yard. It looks like they'll give him that.
Well, Shepard comes out and Michael Jackson comes in.
Second and 10.
Along with Demrick Kirk. So you've got 2 wide receivers, and the Bruins will set them up to the left side of the offensive set. Of course, Kirk caught that big touchdown against the Greyhounds of Norcom last week. Iverson fakes the handoff, rolling, looking, over the middle, completes the pass to Kirk. He wants to get outside. He's got good quickness. He'll only get to the 50, but it'll be a first down for Bethel.
Bill, great pass running to the left, and he really had to throw back to the right that time to Kirk.
You know, sometimes, when a quarterback's sprinting out, they'll work harder at getting his shoulder squared up to the receiver, as he did on this play.
Watch this on replay.
Yeah, they had twins left. He had the corner. He looked like he could have run it if he wanted to, but he had the receiver wide open. And if he hadn't broken this tackle, it was 6. 19 saved the touchdown right
He really
here.
did, because I started to say he was going to go, but he got good quickness to catch him. Same rollout, same similar play. Allen Iverson this time, however, will run out of bounds at about the 45. A pickup of, let's call it 3 on the play. Stops the clock with 1:24 remaining here in the first quarter.
I think, not to interrupt you, but I believe he was looking for Rogers, his favorite receiver. Rogers was running a fly pattern down this left sideline.
Started to mention, and of course, as you watch this game on the tape delay, you'll already know that EC Glass is the opponent for the winner of this game. Iverson fakes the draw play, now steps up, gets away from one would-be tackler, another one. Ball comes loose. There's a fumble, and I believe the Bruins have recovered. And that is Wilton Evans, no, check that, Bobby Sims rather,
yes.
number 49, who comes up with the loose football. So you know, and I didn't mention this earlier, but the Bruins have been guilty of turning the ball over in the last couple of weeks, and it hasn't hurt them, but they've got to be careful about that.
Turning the ball over is one thing you don't want to do, especially in a big game. They kept him inside, and that's where you want to keep him. You don't want him outside.
You don't want to let him get outside, and he actually ran into his own player there trying to scramble, not to say anything against his player, but, I mean, Alan, you don't know where he's going.
3rd down and 9 for the Bruins. Iverson wants to throw. He throws in the vicinity of Kirk, but it is incomplete. And it'll bring up a 4th down and long for the Bruins, and on the field will come Kevin Melvin to do the punting.
Brings about a 4th down, 4th and 9 for the Bruins.
They were looking to catch Kirk on the little hook, the play that's been effective, and he just overthrew him.
This is the first trip to the playoffs for this Hugenot team since 1988. So Richard McPhee has done a fine job with the Hugenot Falcons this year. Melvin will be standing at his 40. Again, 2 deep men back for Hugenot. One of the few teams we've seen this year that uses 2 return men. Melvin's kick is a pretty line drive type of kick taken at the 20-yard line out to about the 26.
Defensive stop by number 86.
Well, neither team has been able to establish anything on the ground real defensively until that last series the Hugenot had it, and it really was the big pass play that got them down deep into Bethel territory.
In this short punt, it doesn't hurt Hugenot too much. They get, at the 25-yard line. Right now, it's becoming a game of field position.
The Falcons want to pass on 1st down. Coles throws, and it is incomplete. Again, Jonathan Dean got good pressure on Anthony Coles that time. May have forced him to pass it a little sooner than he might have wanted to.
Well, the young man that was on the whiteout was broken off much later than what the quarterback did. Bill, that's the Tim, that's the end of the first quarter play, and we have no score.
So both of these teams, as we said at the opening of the game, can score, but the defenses have dominated here in the first quarter. Your thoughts about the first quarter, Bill?
Well, I'm real. Hugenot's defense has played well. Better than stats we have seen and so forth. I think they've contained Iverson decently. They haven't given up any big plays, and are playing an aggressive football game. Bethel. The thing I think I'm impressed with them right now defensively, they had somebody in Cole's face. Even though he's completed one big pass, there's been somebody in his face every play. And so it has been a defensive game that come down the field position right now.
Well, he is being pressured every time he goes back. Even if he does get it off, he's got somebody hanging on him. And those times that he didn't get it off, you got a big guy like 6'8", 265, Barry Hargrave hanging on you. That's a little bit of weight.
Yeah, it's a little, and it's hard. He's got to find his throwing lanes, and it's hard through those big people.
2nd down and 10 as we get set to start the second quarter, and the Bruins want a timeout. Now that, Bill, what happens in a situation like that where you see the nose guard all of a sudden stands up and calls timeout?
Well, I can't believe there wouldn't be 11 people on the field. Maybe they didn't have a defensive call. Somebody wasn't sure. In that situation, it's good. Rather than make a mistake and give up a big play, you don't like it.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to count the players, and I thought I counted 10, and I might have missed one. They may have 11 out there, but I thought that maybe that was the reason. But there must be.
We get a chance to see while we're waiting for this timeout the interception by Allen Iverson in the first quarter.
This is the same play they had success with early, and they brought the tight end over. And Iverson, you're not going to get him twice on that play. You have to really look him off. You're going to have to either look him off or throw to the corners, but you're not going to continuously throw over the middle.
All right, the timeout is almost over with.
Oh, some holding going on.
And
No, he's calling him out of bounds. It was a little bit of holding, I thought, Bill. Tim, you have the first quarter summary there. You want to give us a little insight of what happened?
Well, in the first quarter, the Bruins had 2 first downs. Well, let's watch this replay. I don't want to let Bill describe what happened here.
Well, he took a straight drop back. He was looking for the split in all the way. Yeah, we got somebody. That was the best tackle of the game right there. The offensive guard made the tackle. And I don't know what happened here, if he stepped out of bounds and then came back to catch the ball. He did catch the ball.
But I think he was out of bounds and came back in. That's what it looked like.
That was an unbelievable catch on that play. I mean, the ball seemed to get lost up in the air. It looked like it was no way he was going to make that grab, and the next thing you know, he had it.
The kid didn't give up on it, though. He kept his eyes on it. That was an excellent throw.
And we have a timeout. As you see, a good look there at Dennis Kozlowski, the head coach of the Bethel Bruins. Back to these statistics, if I may. The first down is 3-2 in favor of the Falcons in the first quarter. Their third down efficiency, Falcons 1 of 2 for 50%, 1 of 3 for the Bruins, 33%. Net yards very close, 43 for the Bruins, 41 for the Falcons. And 2 of 3 attempts and completions for Iverson, 1 of 4 for Coles with 1 interception.
This is a big play defensively. If the Bethel can stop them, they should end up with pretty good field position. And there's that inside handoff again.
And Finney got away from that tackle. He's going to end up getting a first down, and he should have been stopped after a very short gain.
I know Bethel's got to be real upset with the tackling on that position. But, Bill, this is one thing I know you talk to your players when you tackle, you got to lock up on him.
Yeah, you got to wrap them up. Here, we got the replay here. It's the reverse again, where they bring the man in motion, and then they hand it to him and give it back to Finney. And it looked like he was stopped right there, but he slipped the tackle. And Finney's gained 1,300 yards here, so he's a good ball carrier.
Yeah, I just want to say.
He broke a few tackles to make that run.
This is no fluke. This young man knows how to run with the football, and you definitely have to get a hold of him and lock down on him. And this is Finney this time, and Finney will not get anything this time against the Bruin defense.
Well, and that
made him mad. That was a mistake.
Well, I tell you what, Xavier Gunn and Barry Hargrave didn't make the final tackle, but they're the one that stopped him and made him move in that backfield, and I know that those two young men were very mad on the run prior to that.
Well, they had them, and I think it was Robinson who had Finney earlier on the previous play.
Yeah, Robinson, I think, is the kid that made this play. He came right up, took on the running back, forced him deep, and then got back off the ground and made the play. That's a great play.
Good job.
Inside, and the ball comes loose on the head. A good stick by, that's number 1 for the Bruins, Hill, who knocked the ball loose at the end of that play. But a good gain on the play for Hugenot all the way out to the 45-yard line.
Well, the quarterback did a great job that time of faking the handoff to the wingback, Bill.
Well, that's what you want on the wing tee. It's a lot of misdirection, and they lost me on that.
Well, they lost all of us, I think, because I couldn't tell who had the ball.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
That was
don't admit that, Bill. I mean, you're a coach. Don't admit.
Oh, hey, it happens. I'm not playing. I can lose it. They can't out there.
At the 46-yard line, third down and a long yard, almost 2. And the Bruins, were they pulled off or did they jump off?
They would movement, but I believe Gaskell went across first. But let's see what they do.
Hugenot says that it's against the Bruins. The Bruins were pointing against the Falcons, but it will be, in fact, encroachment against the Bruins, a first down. So that's the second time the Bruins have jumped across that line prematurely.
Well, that one hurts you because it gives you a first down, gives the offense a first down. You hate to give them anything. Make them work and earn everything they get. This drive started back at about the 20, 21-yard line, didn't it?
At the Bruin 49, the Falcons with 10:27 left here in the first half. The pitch goes to Finney, trying to turn the right side. He does get around Terrell. He's finally collared at about the 39-yard line, a pickup of about 10. Allen Iverson made the stop for the Bruins.
And it's another It looked like about 10, 12 yards that time.
Yep, they actually.
Yeah, what they did here is brought the fullback in motion and got an extra man to block on the corner. He kicked out, and Finney's got good speed. This here, if he broke this tackle, or Iverson made the play, and he's the free safety. So if he got by him, it was 6.
Finney has impressed me. I'm impressed with his quickness and his ability to find the hole.
And we got a timeout this time for the Hugenot. And while we got this quick timeout again, let me say that we will pick a player of the game from the Bethel Bruins tonight. This will be the DC Engraving Sports Place player of the game. We will give a plaque and a shirt to this player. The shirt comes from the Sports Place located at Hampton Woods Plaza and Big Bethel Road. Dave Chubb is the man there, and the plaque comes from Dave Buckwalder out at DC Engraving at Times Square in York County.
You know, with the Christmas holidays coming up, Dr. Stills wanted me to make all the fans out there aware of the fact that during the Christmas holidays, we'll be replaying some of our games from the regular season and postseason play. So I'm sure that if the staff makes the picks, and I have a feeling that if the staff is any kind of football fan, and I know they are, they're going to want to probably see that Bethel-Phoebus game again. They might show the Bethel-Hampton game, some of Bill D's successes.
Some of Bill's wins this year had some great contests this year.
So those will be coming up here on Channel 5 during the Christmas break. So stay tuned. Watch the information board here on Channel 5 for the games and the times. It's a first down for Hugenot at the Bethel 37-yard line. And the Bruins defense clog it up. This time the ball comes loose. But they'll blow it dead after the loss on the play.
Well,
that time it was Langhorne.
Wilton Evans in on the stop.
We'll get a chance to see it again, Bill.
Looks like Bethel's starting to blitz a little bit. Robinson's trying to cause them some confusion in their blocking scheme. And I think he came up and broke up the blocking scheme, and the rest of the defense came across hard and made the play.
Loss of 2 on the play. It'll be second down and 12 for Hugenot. This is the fullback in motion to the near side. Coles feels the pressure, and Jonathan Dean and company have him. Robinson, Dean,
and
Williams. Lamont Williams, number 76.
And that's a big loss that time. Clear back to the 49-yard line of the Bruins.
Well, you know, I said this in jest a little while ago, but they made the Bruin defense mad earlier and got them back in the ball game there momentarily.
The whole front got across here. Williams, Deans, Hargraves, excuse me, and they didn't give him any time to even look downfield.
Well, he turned around to look and saw 3 white jerseys on him.
Third down and 22 for Hugenot. Coles in an obvious passing situation, does throw, and has a man open but can't complete the pass along the far sidelines. That was Curtis Porter, number 19, who was the intended receiver. So the Bruins, after giving up a first down inside their 35-yard line, have pushed the Falcons all the way back to the 49, and they'll be forced to punt the ball.
Well, Hugenot's protection was a little better. This kid can really throw the ball. This is a deep out he threw to number 19, and he had a little bit more time and setup, and that had some. It just drifted a little high on him.
Let it go!
Hugenot kicks the ball away from Iverson and out of bounds. Not a bad kick at all, though. They'll line it up. It would appear to be around the 13-yard line. So Bethel will not have good field position to start this possession. We are still scoreless with 8:25 remaining in the first half. This is the Group AAA Division 5 state semifinals. The Central Division winner, the Hugenot Falcons, and the Eastern Region champions, the Bethel Bruins, here from University of Richmond Stadium. I'm Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and Bill D. from the Phoebus Phantoms.
That's on the 12-yard line, Tim. That was an excellent punt by the Falcons.
2 wide receivers to the near side. Iverson on a straight drop, wants to throw long, throws it down the sideline. Rogers, and the ball is actually thrown out of bounds. As the defender on the play did a fine job. That was Michael Smith, number 2, defending, had Rogers very well covered on the play. We'll get a chance to see this again.
Yeah, Bethel was in a twins formation, and what they ran as a cross, he just ran an out and up. And Iverson aired it out, and that'll keep that corner honest and it probably back him up a little bit. The corner did a good job.
Again, a tough swirling wind here at the stadium tonight, probably in the gusting up to 30 miles an hour, so that'll play havoc with the quarterback. Kirk, the man in motion to the far side. Iverson sets it up middle screen to Rogers. Rogers makes the grab and is out across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. It'll be close to a first down.
Well, that was just a quick slant after the Kirk
like
went in
maybe
motion.
the flanker screen, Bob. The play they ran last week. I think that's what that was. He brought him right across the middle. Let's look at it.
That's exactly what I think it was. They put Kirk in motion and then brought.
Yeah, see, they bring him in. They let the lineman can release downfield. And number 2 saved. He would have got a lot bit more yards if he didn't make the play.
Third down and a yard for the Bruins, and a flag is thrown. We may have, well, someone may have stepped into the neutral zone. I started to say a delay of game, but that's not the man who would call that play. We have an encroachment call against Hugenot, so turnabout is fair play.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
So the Bruins will benefit from this penalty and get the first down out at the 26-yard line. Both teams can put points on the board, as we have said, but so far here in the ball game, it has been the defense. 2 wide receivers to the near side in the I backfield. This is Michael Jackson who gets the ball for the first time, and Jackson is out close to the 32. I was surprised they haven't gone to him sooner than this.
Like we talked earlier, I think a little balance would really open some things up, both passing and running, and that's an effective first down play. You got 5 yards. It's off tackle to the left. They kicked out the end, blocked down, and he ran hard. And Jackson's a good running back.
An excellent running back, almost 1,000 yards this season for Michael Jackson of Bethel. And they like it so much they go to it again, only Jackson will not enjoy the same success this time. He may have gotten a yard. And it'll bring up a third down for the Bruins.
And that was number 88 for the
Falcons?
Yeah, where's my
you need your other lineup.
Yeah, where's my other lineup?
It was a Hugenot player. We're sure.
Let me help you out here. That was Trevin Eggleston. He is their premier defensive player. In fact, he was the Dominion District Player of the Year. This is Kirk. Kirk has the grab close to a first down at the 38-yard line. The Bethel Bruin supporters, and there are a considerable number of them here tonight. We want to give them kudos for being out here in this terrible cold weather.
Well, I tell you, we're not getting the blunt of this wind or the wind chill factor as we watch this the replay, Bill.
Yeah, Iverson drops straight back, and 7 comes in and runs the out and hits him right on the money. Had a little trouble holding the ball, but made the catch.
This is Jackson, and Jackson will be smothered for a loss on the play. Boy, that Hugenot defense is tough on the run.
Well, he didn't. He only got to the 35, so he lost about 2 or 3 yards.
They were in the backfield almost the time he got the handoff.
Well, Hugenot's impressed me with the defensive play. I expected Bethel to possibly run the ball a little bit more effectively, but they're in a 53. They might be stunning. They're doing some things that evidently are causing them some problems.
Loss of 3 on the play, second down rather, and 13 for the Bruins. 5:40 and the clock is moving. No score here in the first half. Iverson rolling, looking, throws, completes it to Kelly Rogers on the far sideline, and that will be close to another first down. It will be a first down at the 49-yard line.
Just a great pass and catch that time from Iverson to Rogers.
What they did here, they have an over formation where they have twins and McCaskill blocking on the defensive end, and he doesn't have much pressure here, and this is an easy throw for him. Rogers runs an excellent pattern, and they get the first down.
Rogers in the regular season caught 21 catches for more than 450 yards. And of course he had 2 touchdowns. This is Michael Jackson.
Whoa, he almost broke a couple of tackles that time.
Jackson inside the 45 to the 43. So, again, that goes back to once you start effectively completing your passes, then the defense has to soften up a little bit on that run.
Yeah. What we've got here is off tackle. McCaskill makes a great block coming down. And that number 2 again, and I believe the free safety made that play.
Back to the live action. Second and short. Michael Jackson gets the first down and then some, all the way down to the 34-yard line.
Bill, he looks like he is running with a lot more determination than he did at the beginning of when he went in.
Well, he's getting in a rhythm. He's running the ball more. You know, the ball, as a running back, you want to get the ball. You're not going to get into a rhythm unless you're running the ball, and he seems to be doing that.
Well, I know when we first started off, Shepard was in there and Michael Jackson was as we watched the replay, Bill.
Yeah, this is off tackle. He set up the block outside, then stepped up inside, and he's accelerating through the hole.
Another first down for the Bruins at the 34-yard line. A little insight to this, gentlemen. Of course, Allen Iverson's stepdad, Gary Moore, is our statistician. And he was just telling me that Michael Jackson is very much aware of the fact that he only needs about 30 yards for the 1,000-yard mark. So that's a little extra incentive for him. Not that this is an individual type of team. Believe me, these kids do not play individually. They play as a team.
Well, it's probably a team goal also. They want they want him to gain 1,000 yards.
Well, because it reflects especially on your offensive line.
That's right.
Also, I mean, it's just not the back getting it. He can't get it without having good blocking.
Gain of let's call it 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7 for the Bruins. And the ball carrier down to about the 30, check that, the 28-yard line.
Well, I know that this is one thing that you really concentrate over there at Phoebus is team. In fact, your license plate says Team Me.
Yeah, well, you know, I just don't think it doesn't matter what you do. If you don't win and if you don't play as a team, and nothing else really matters.
3rd down and about 5 for the Bruins. Iverson faking, and Iverson steps right into a tackler. He tried to get away from him. Boy, that's a big young man that finally got in front of his face. That is 88 Eggleston, 6'6", 220. He is that player I said is the Dominion District Player of the Year, and Iverson just stepped right into him in his efforts to get away from him.
And lost 5.
Watch this replay.
Yeah, Eggleston made a good play. He contained him and then stepped in and made the play, and that's tough to do with the quickness of Iverson.
The Bruins have called a timeout with 2:59 remaining and a 4th down and 11. And with this swirling wind, by the way, the wind appears, and I use that word because of the bowl shape of the stadium here, it could be different than it appears, but the flag is going across the field, so any attempt at a field goal...
well, you're talking about a 47-yarder, so I don't think we're going to see one.
No, actually, it would be more like a 52-yarder at this point because it would be marked
35, 45, yeah.
Yeah, so I really don't think we'd see one, but I'm sure Kaz wants to talk to the team and talk about it. But
Wilton's
there you see
improved,
the flag.
I don't think that much, and especially with the wind conditions tonight.
Yeah.
There's a good shot of the flag.
2:59 left in a scoreless first half, and I got to tell you, I am surprised by that fact. I wouldn't have been surprised if there was a scoreless first half in Bethel, but this game I really thought we'd see some points.
Well, Tim, Bill, do you think this is a little... Would you have done this, gone for it, 4th down?
Well, I think it's late in the half, and you've been throwing the ball effectively. You'll see some type of passer, and he's getting time to throw. And if he doesn't see it, he's wide open.
He's got a man wide open. Denver Kirk in the end zone. He can't hold on to the football. Had the ball, he got behind the defense. He was wide open. He just couldn't hold on to it.
Come on, Kirk. Come on, baby. Come on, Kirk.
Oh,
too wide open, maybe.
He had too much time to think about it, maybe. I don't know.
Watch this replay. You're not going to believe it. It looks like he came on the field.
Straight drop back. Iverson had great protection, steps up, and he's wide open. There's nobody within 10, 15 yards, and he just waited for it. And I'll tell you, sometimes they're the hardest catches.
Coles will try and return the favor. He throws long and incomplete at the 30-yard line.
That was a mighty close call. Number 19 is their primary receiver.
That is Curtis Porter, who was out on the pattern, and that's the second time that the Bruins have almost been burned on a long pass.
And the ball was thrown in such a way that Allen could not get to it, that he had to become a tackler.
It was in the corner, and that's what you want to do, to throw it. It's away from Iverson.
On the screen pass, right side, Gaskell chases the receiver down after a short gain on the play. Porter, the young man who was the intended receiver a moment ago, by the way, was Cole's favorite receiver, as you said, Bob. 39 grabs on the season, 10 touchdowns, and he averaged 17 yards every time he caught the football. Third down and about, let's call it 8.
Third down, 3rd and 8.
Coles back to pass, feels some pressure. Over the middle, it's tipped and incomplete. Iverson got a hand on it, and then DeVan Hill almost came up with it. But it'll be 4th down with 2:08 remaining in a scoreless first half.
4th and 9.
You're watching the Bethel Bruins and the Hugenot Falcons from the University of Richmond Football Stadium. There you see the scoreboard. The Spiders was on the scoreboard, but that's not who's playing here tonight.
Well, Allen's back quite a ways. I think if I was Kaz, I'd have him come up at least 5 to 10 yards.
Well, you know, Bill pointed out something very astutely last week. It's easier to field the ball on the run coming up to it than it is to be going back.
But you don't want it to hit the ground either.
Well, you do if it takes a roll like that.
Well, they probably like to see Iverson catch the ball.
I tell you, Porter does a fine job punting.
Yeah.
Good-looking punter.
Well, the punts, he's holding onto the ball pretty long because that was close to being blocked. It's giving them time to cover, and Iverson hasn't had a chance to field one. I think he's fielded one.
Well, you know, if you were McPhee, would you have not worked on your special teams this week, knowing the
A little
explosiveness?
bit, yeah. We'd work on our special teams.
I thought so. Well, the Bruins now, with 1:45 remaining, have another chance here in the first half. Iverson gets away from some would-be tacklers, and then he'll be run out of bounds at around the 40-yard line, a pickup of about 6, well, about 5, I guess. It'll be 2nd down and 5 with the clock stopping, 1:36 remaining in the half. The
When he
Bruins
gets
with a-
outside, he's kind of exciting.
Well, this is what drives you crazy as a defensive coach. He drops back, you got him hemmed in pretty good, and then he breaks containment. That's, you know, then he's going to get out of bounds to stop the clock.
And not many big linemen are going to catch him.
Pass incomplete, intended for Demrick Kirk, young man who dropped that pass in the end zone a little while ago. And again, Iverson went right back to him, and that's always a good sign because it shows that the quarterback's trying to say, look, I still got my confidence in you. You need to do that, and we've all seen the pros drop wide open passes, so I'm sure Kirk feels badly about it, but he shouldn't. 3rd down and 5 for the Bruins, 1:31 remaining in the half. And this one is dropped as well. Had a man wide open, but couldn't hold on to it. That was Kelly Rogers. Hit him right in the numbers.
The corner came up and made a good hit just as the ball arrived. I think that had a lot to do with it.
I'm sure it did. And again, we can't tell you often enough how cold it is out there. Those fingers got to be a little on the numb side. I'm cold and I'm in an enclosed booth.
This is a timing pattern. The corner timed it pretty well and came just as the ball arrived.
Kevin Melvin will do the punting now with 1:25 left in the half. So both teams 3 downs and out.
And number 24, Reggie Hall.
Melvin gets a good end-over-end kick, and it's dropped. Fielded and dropped, but recovered by Hugenot at the 37-yard line. So almost another turnover.
Well, I want to take a second here to compliment Chris Gaskell. Not only does he play tight end and nose guard and guard on the 6-man line, but he's the one that centers
Snaps.
for the punter and the PHE. So
he
that's
gets it
very
back there.
important.
He gets it back there. He really does. This kid's got no fear. He comes up and tries to make the catch.
Coles back to pass again. Again throws long. And again, he has Porter as the intended receiver. Double coverage, and nothing happening. Allen Iverson, along with Terrell, back on defense.
Nothing shy about this group.
No,
Neither team.
These guys don't mind just standing up there and throwing the ball.
I mean, we have seen we've seen what, 8, 10 plays here.
Well, it's been 2 minutes and we've had 3 possessions, so
That's what I was going to comment
3
earlier.
possessions. And we still got 55 seconds to go.
2nd and 10. The ball marked on the 36.
Pass in the flats for Porter. And Porter is driven out of bounds at about the 38 or 39-yard line. At a short gain on the play. Stops the clock with 48 seconds to go. It'll bring up, believe it or not, gentlemen, a 3rd down already, and we're still 48 seconds away from halftime. Get a chance to see this again.
it's a quick screen, and he's looking to make, just use his athleticism to make a play.
3rd down and long. Coles throws, and it is incomplete. So, yep, that's right. Another possession change. 4th down with 42 seconds to
We're
go.
going to get 4 possessions here.
Call me conservative, but I'm not throwing that ball over the middle with a chance of Iverson to. I mean, I could see something throwing it out or, something to the corner. But now they have to kick the ball again.
Well, they've done a good job of kicking it either away from him or getting good coverage on the punt. This time, good pressure by Hargraves. He just missed blocking that. This is Iverson. He's got a seam, and he is across midfield to the 48-yard line.
And you got 29 seconds. You got plenty of time to score.
He has got great quickness.
Yeah, he was 1 away from breaking that. That's why I would think they would have liked to run a play. I would have liked to see, if I was a coach, be the only possession left.
All right, we'll be right back with the conclusion. Well, we'll hold on for a second here before we take a quick break. We need to do a tape change, but we'll run this play, and this could be the last play of the first half. We're down inside of 20 seconds to go. Iverson again wants to pass. Throws, completes it to Rogers. Rogers wants to get out of bounds, does not do so.
Well, if he'd have gone forward, picked up the first down, that would have stopped the clock.
He may have gotten the first down, or at least maybe close enough. It looks like now.
Well, they called timeout, they being the Bruins.
Well, there's no time, showing
left on the clock.
Let's see how they work this out.
They might put time back on the clock.
So they're going to.
No, I guess not.
That's it.
That's the half. Interesting call. So the half is here, and we have played 24 minutes. No score at halftime. We'll be back for the third quarter of action after a brief timeout.
Okay, Falcons, let's hear it for the Hugenot High School Marching Band.
You're watching what could have been a 7-point difference at halftime. Of course, you can't put this on poor Deborah Kirk. He had a wide open opportunity to make the grab and just couldn't hold on to it in the end zone. And again, we remind you the wind chill factor for tonight's game in the low teens, if not in the single digits. These young men are playing under rather adverse conditions, and Deborah Kirk just couldn't hold on to that pass. But I guarantee you Bethel will remember how he got open and try and do that again.
Well, and I think the other team is going to remember who blew assignment too, so we're going to see that at both ends.
Halftime statistics. The Bethel Bruins and the Falcons 7-6 in first downs. Third down efficiency is the same. Our stats net yardage almost the same. Little advantage for the Bruins there, 67-22 in the passing yardage. Allen Iverson 11 of 6, no interceptions. Only 3 of 12 with 1 interception for Coles. The penalties, just 2 against the Bruins for 10 yards, 1 for 5 against the Hugenot High School Falcons. And the time of possession in favor of the Bruins, even though they really didn't have much time of possession advantage until late in that second quarter when Michael Jackson ran for several running plays. And again, the Bruins just really started to mix up their offense a little bit late in the second quarter. Jackson with 27 yards in the first half on 7 carries. Iverson with 13 yards on 7 carries. A total of 40 net yards rushing for the Bruins, averaging better than 200 yards per game on the ground. Iverson, as we mentioned, 11 of 6 for 67 yards. He threw 4 to Rogers. He had 38 yards total and 2 to Kirk for a total of 29 yards. And interception for Allen Iverson, the only turnover in the first half. For the Hugenot Falcons, Finney 10 carries for 39 yards, well below his average. Hall had 1 carry for 9, Langhorne 1 for 5, and Coles was sacked twice for a total negative yardage of 10. Coles, as we mentioned, 3 of 12 for 22 yards. He was sacked 1 time. And his receivers, Porter and Graves, and again, no interceptions, no points on the scoreboard. Bill, if I may ask you, how would you have approached halftime with your team if you were, let's say, Kozlowski?
Well, I think I'd look at the positive. We should have been in the end zone and so forth. I wouldn't talk about. I'd just say that we had a good drive. We started running the ball effectively. We need to mix it up, and that'll open up the passing game, which it did. They hit the big pass play, and it's nothing. It's a new game. You're starting all from the beginning, and let's go out and win the football game.
Of course, the winner of this game will play EC Glass in Lynchburg next Saturday afternoon. The Bethel Bruins hopeful to be that opponent. And of course, Hugenot will have a lot to say. And we were all talking at halftime how impressed we were with the defense by the Hugenot team during the first half. Iverson on the return out across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Again, he was one or two tackles away from breaking that one all the way.
And Bill, the ball just kind of died on the turf out there, and Allen had to come and pick it up.
Well, you know what surprises me? It died, but they did kick it to him.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that.
The flag to the right of the end zone, as we see Allen Iverson up that seam.
And he almost broke it.
Yeah, is totally limp, so the wind has died down, and we're all thankful for that here in the second half. 42-yard line is where the Bruins will start. Iverson will barely get back to the line of scrimmage. Ball comes loose. Iverson fumbled once in the first half, but the Bruins got it back. Let's see who got this one. And now they say Hugenot has it. It took a moment for the officials to determine who had recovered the ball, but in fact, the Falcons have gotten the fumble.
So here's the replay. Allen's dropping straight back, or he's a little bit half roll. He steps up, and then from behind he got stripped. And I believe that's 88 again.
That's Eggleston, exactly.
And he stripped him from behind, and Allen never saw him.
So the turnover gives the ball to Hugenot at the Bethel 39-yard line. And then we have motion. Someone was either drawn or jumped off sides.
Dead ball. White.
All right, so we have the official. Our referee is finally able to get the microphone working. That is Doug Beatty. And he informed us that the Bruins were in fact guilty of encroachment. First down and 5 at the 34. Coles back to pass, has time, throws up a strange looking pass, but it's caught for a touchdown. A bizarre looking floater. Throw it up and hopefully have Leon Finney run underneath it, and that's exactly what happened.
That had some hang time on it.
A bizarre opening to the second half as Leon Finney caught a wounded duck, for lack of a better description, but it was effective. 34 yards from Coles to Finney. And just that quickly, after a scoreless first half,
in a minute and 8 seconds, Tim.
The turnover and the immediate success by Hugenot. They'll go for 2, and Finney will go on untouched. Well, after a scoreless first half, they made it look easy.
Well, they sure did. And here, watch the
here's the replay.
Replay here.
What they're doing, they bring the split end down on the post, and they run Finney out of the backfield down the sideline, and they just let him run under it. He throws it up. It's a blooper, but he has great speed and got under it, and that's where he got 6 points.
Beat Brandon Chenault on the play and just walked into the end zone, and then the 2-point conversion was identical to that in the sense that no one really stopped him. He just walked right in.
To be fair to Chenault, I'm not sure that he had him on that play. I think the corner got sucked in with the post pattern. He should have been hanging in his deep third, I think, and I think Chenault was trailing.
Defensive end.
Yeah, I think he just happened to, be underneath him. There should have been somebody in the deep third.
So Hugenot takes the 8-0 lead with, as you said, Bob, a minute 8 gone here in the second half. This is a deep kickoff taken at the 9-yard line by Allen Iverson. And Allen is hit and then goes to one knee, almost regained his balance, but once his knee hit the ground, of course, he could go no further.
Well, I'm impressed with the way Hugenot come out this second half, caused a turnover, scored on the first play, and did a great job of covering Allen on that kickoff.
Well, you know, they are doing a good job on those kicking teams. They kicked it right to him. They got it pretty deep, and they have good team speed. It's a good hit right there, but Allen just happened to slip.
So Bethel now trailing will start from their 23-yard line, and Iverson again is stripped of the ball and just barely holds on to it, and again Eggleston is the young man who did it.
Somebody is not, I don't know, he's all over in that backfield.
Well, he's 6'6", 220, and as I said, player of the year in the Richmond area, and he's showing why he got those honors.
Second down, second and 13.
A loss of 3 on the play, second down and 13 for the Bruins. So the second half has started off very awkwardly for Bethel at this point. Iverson whips it to Kirk, and Kirk can't hold on to it at the 25-yard line.
Emmerich Kirk falls incomplete. Depending on the play, number 32.
Clock stops with 9:49 left in the third.
Third down, third and 13.
We'll watch the replay as Kozlowski looks on.
Straight drop back. He's trying to hit the quick out, which has been a good play for them on the timing pattern. It just overthrew it a little bit.
Third down and 13 for the Bruins. Iverson straight drop, fakes the short pass, then tries to step up and gets away from one tackler, but can't do much after that. As he gets out close to the 25-yard line, the ball is blown dead. Hugenot tackling the football, and again, we emphasize how chilly it is on that field. The fingers have to be rather numb, so it's tough to hold on to it. Here's your replay.
Well, it looks like excuse me, Bill. Looks like he's faking a hook and go or stop and go.
Yeah, I think he was looking to set up a deep pattern on a hook, and then it wasn't there. He stepped up, and they're coming from the outside and catching him from behind.
Kevin Melvin will be standing back inside his 15 when he'll punt. Good pressure from Hugenot, but he gets it away. A good kick. And a fair catch called for, perhaps a little conservatively. But again, you just don't want to make any mistakes right now, and Hugenot is doing just that. And I don't want to sound like I was foreboding of anything, but I mentioned that the Bruins have been guilty of some turnovers recently and have gotten away with them. And that last one, when Iverson fumbled, they didn't get away with that one.
You can't turn the ball over continuously because it'll eventually burn you.
Well, and you get at this level of competition that mistakes and a play that they can score on like that can take a lot of the wind out of your sails.
Coles feels pressure from Williams, and Lamont Williams will sack him back inside the 25-yard line.
Number 76.
Gaskell, Williams, and Robinson all putting pressure on Coles, but it was Lamont Williams who came up with the big play.
Well, he just shot the gap over there from his tackle position, Bill, it looked like.
Yeah, they're in the wishbone set, and they run a play-action pass, and I'll tell you, that's Lamont Williams. He's got a very quick first step, and he just beat his blocker, and he was on him the whole way. He didn't have a chance. There's been heat on him all night.
Ball is marked back at the 24-yard line, a loss of 11. Second down and 21 for Hugenot. The Bruins need to have the defense step up right now. They need to get some points on the board. They got to get the ball back. Chenault is across the line of scrimmage, and that was just a strange play. It just looked like Chenault just anticipated the snap.
He looked over and listened to Coach Kaz. Coach Kaz said something to him when he turned back. The man was in motion, and he thought the ball had been snapped. And I'm sure that's what happened, his lack of concentration. And this is the place where Bethel hopes that they can cause a turnover, make Hugenot make a mistake, and not them make a mistake.
So the 5-yard penalty is assessed. It's second down and 16 for the Falcons at the 34-yard line, excuse me, the 29-yard line, rather. In motion goes the fullback. And this is Finney trying to turn the left corner, and he will get out to about the 34, maybe the 35. Close to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be third down now and about 12 for the Falcons. Get a chance to watch it again.
They've run this play a number of times where they just want to get the quick pitch out. With the Finney, they get an extra blocker out there, and he just picking his hole. And they've got some of that yardage back, about 4 or 5 yards.
Well, basically, when they send a man in motion and get out there, they're really basically in an unbalance because they got more blockers.
So, yeah, they have an extra man and outnumber you on the corner.
3rd down and 12. Coles back to pass, gets good protection, throws, and it's incomplete as the intended receiver on the far sideline could not get to the ball. It was thrown out of bounds. So with the clock stopping with 7:01 remaining in the 3rd, the Bruins now will get an opportunity to get this ball back.
And in decent field position, you would assume.
You know, and again, I can't emphasize enough the fact that even though the Bruins trail 8-0, this is an explosive Bethel team. So 8 points is by no means a secure lead for the Falcons. But their defense has played well. And again, their special teams have performed superbly in not allowing any substantial returns by the Bruins. There's certainly nothing that hurts you.
Well, they are holding the ball. The punter is holding the ball an extra count, isn't he, Bill?
He's really taking a long time to kick it, which, you know, they can release from the line. It's not like professional ball where they have to stay there. And those kids are getting down under the kick real quick. But Lamont Williams come really close to getting to the punter a couple times.
So the Bruins will have the ball at their 27, 1st down, trailing 8-0. This is Iverson giving to Michael Jackson. Jackson across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Gain of about 5 on the play for the Bruins. You know, we'll watch it again.
Yeah, they've gone to their jumbo set at the power I set and just get the ball back to Jackson and hit it, hammer it up in there. They might be thinking they just want to get some movement right now and get something going.
This is Jackson trying to turn the left side. He does turn the corner, and he is wrestled out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Ball popped loose, but the ground cannot cause the fumble.
Who made that tackle? Eggleston.
This young man is all over the place. He really is. The defensive end on the right side chased down the very speedy Michael Jackson to make the stop, but not before the Bruins register the 1st down at the 43-yard line.
On the clock at the Bruins 43.
Bethel in need of some points. Into the middle of the line. The handoff goes to Bobby Sims, his first carry of the ballgame. Sims did not particularly appreciate the way he was manhandled.
Picked up about a yard on the play, it looks like. I'm getting my sinuses cleared up.
Well, what's happened is the referee Hyatt didn't have, or Beatty rather, didn't have the mic working in the 1st half. Now he's got it wide open, so we're the recipients of a shrill whistle each time he does that. Jackson along the line of scrimmage, nothing happening there. He doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. I'll tell you, Hugenot, in spite of what we talked about, and I have to tell you, statistics will lie to you. I said that they've given up 21 or more points 5 different times during the season, but they're not playing like a team that allows those kind of points.
Now here they come with the power eye, and they give it off to Jackson. He didn't hit up there as quick as he had in the previous plays.
3rd down and about 9, and stuffed at the line of scrimmage is Jackson. Iverson comes racing off the field. I don't think he liked the call, but that's the way that goes.
Well, that was number 6 and 32 that came up and made that stop that time for the defense. But that brings up a punting situation for the Bruins.
4:30 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Bethel trailing 8-0 in the state semifinal game against Hugenot. Kevin Melvin has been doing a fine job of kicking, and they've gotten good pressure on him. They slack off him this time. Looked like they might have had a chance. Ball bounds over the head of the intended receiver and just gets into the end zone, where it will bring the ball out to the 20. So Melvin got a good roll, but it got a little too much roll that time.
That's when you wanted it to die at about the 5.
It came close to dying down. It took a big bounce on the first bounce, and it almost died, but didn't get into the end zone.
That's what you'll get sometimes on this AstroTurf. Last week in the Norcom game, the ball would hit the ground and die because of the mud and everything.
Hugenot got good pressure. If that man on the outside, he didn't try to lay out for the ball. He just ran. He did cause some problems for the punter, but they got a good bounce on it.
From the 20-yard line, the Falcons. This is Finney, and Finney picks up 3, close to 4.
Russell Harris on the carry.
That's the play that they run earlier that I lost the ball on. I didn't get it on that one either.
Yeah, they don't give it to the fullback too much, but that's a quick trap, a quick hitter. And that'll slow the defenses down when they're trying to get to Finney and when they're trying to get to the perimeter.
3-yard pickup on
Gain
the play.
of 3 on the play.
Second down.
Second down and 7 for the Falcons of Hugenot. 3:30 remaining in the third quarter.
Number 22, Leon.
This is Finney, and Finney is out close to the first down. It looks like he has the first down.
Well, Bethel did a great job of plugging up the hole where he was going. He just did a great job of breaking it back over to the far side.
Well, the play was designed to come over this way. We're going to have it here on instant replay. It was designed for off tackle right, and he hits up in there and turns it up and then just has great vision and gets back to the left corner. That's hard to defend.
Gain of 11 on the play, a first down at the 31-yard line. And again, it looks like the Bruins may have entered the neutral zone. Looked like perhaps Robinson may have committed the encroachment penalty.
Well, they just look out of sync.
Yeah, they really do. That I don't know how many that is. You guys have the stats. That's about 4 or 5 times they've been drawn offside. It's got to be the cadence. They have to stay focused and watch the football. That's killed. Now it's 1st and 5. You can almost see anything here offensively.
It really hurts you when you have a 1st and 5, doesn't it, Bill? I mean, you can really do almost anything you want.
Well, you know, as far as play calling, you're in a great situation. You can run play action. You can maybe run some type of counter. You know, you can call something you usually wouldn't want to call on first down.
And this is Finney getting out what would appear to be a first down or very close to it.
Stop made by number 89.
Chris Gaskell in on the stop. They're going to have a measurement. It's certainly close enough for a measurement. It would appear that he may have made it by an inch.
They're in the the wishbone set, run off tackle, and Hugenot did a good job coming off the ball that time. And it looks like they've got close to the 5 yards in the
Well, and look, Bethel is kind of sitting back on defense and are not attacking because every time they get up there, it seems like they're stepping off sides, or encroachment as it's called now. And that really takes a little edge away from your defense.
Well, it slows you down. You come off sides, and the Bethel's defense really likes to come across and charge hard.
Second down and an inch for the first, as a gain of almost 5 on the play. Again, a good offensive situation to be in. It looks like they'll just power it with the quarterback keeper. Little frustration showing on the part of the Bruins there, it would appear. And it looks like, and it will in fact be, a first down for Hugenot. So he needed an inch and he got 3.
Well, he didn't get many inches.
That's just enough.
Clock is restarted with 2:42 left here in the third quarter. The only score in this game, a 34-yard pass completion for the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, both scored by Leon Finney. And this is Finney with the ball, and the Bruins have him wrapped up for a loss.
Well, that's Robinson is the linebacker over there on the play, along with number 88 for the Bruins. And that's Robert. I'm sorry, 88 is
Chris Morant. Young man I'm familiar with, just a 9th grader.
Well, what they're in is their wishbone set, which comes from is a lot like a power I set in there. That's what they want to run their powers of, and Robertson stuffed it real well.
Loss on the play, second down and 11 for Hugenot. Again, they do that double handoff, and the Bruins had it stopped for a moment. One man to catch him, and he will not get him. DeVan Hill will not catch. That's number 21, Terrell Langhorne on the inside reverse.
And Bethel had it stopped again, but they didn't lock up. The guy bounced it out to the outside, and everybody just kind of sucked into the play, Bill, and nobody kept their outside containment.
Well, what happened is, they got sucked in on the play, and then when you miss the tackle, and that kid, well, I'll tell you, they have good speed, because I thought number 1 had the angle on him out here, and he just outran him.
So Hugenot, who had been held
60-yard run.
very quiet in the first half, has broken this game open now.
Terrell Langhorne.
Terrell Langhorne with a 58-yard run. And the Falcons will go for 2, and they'll get it.
2 points good.
The pass play to Raymond Graves for 2. And now the Bruins really are up against it, 16-0. Here's the replay of the score.
Touchdown.
Pass completed to
3 times. Bethel's had problems with it. Here he comes inside. He's looking inside, and then he dips outside, and right there's nothing inside to cut him off. And number 1 had the angle, but 21 just showed great speed.
Well, Allen Iverson, the safety, came up there and missed a tackle, and he's one of the guys you went back there to make sure nobody breaks it.
Well, Allen's done a good job coming up and filling up inside. What happened is he dipped and just got a step to the outside, which broke the play.
Well, the Bruins are going to have to start putting some offense and get some scores.
Iverson fields the ball at the 15. Trying to get to the outside, now reverses his field, gets away from another would-be tackler and turns it on. He's got the quickness all the way down to the 43-yard line.
Number 1. He never gives up.
He was stopped dead at the 25-yard line.
How did he get away?
Well, that's what he does best. He catches the ball and makes things happen, which I'm still surprised. You're just giving Bethel a chance here. They have a 16-point lead. He kicks it right off to him. He hits up in there. He's looking for a seam. They're doing a great job covering the kicks, but Allen just won't give up on the play, and he breaks the 1 tackle and almost goes all the way.
At the Hugenot 43, Iverson over the middle, tipped and incomplete. The intended receiver was Terrell.
He was well covered. Allen's got a particular receiver that he's supposed to hit, obviously, but he needs to take his time and look at the situation because that man was well covered.
Yeah, they did a great job. The underneath coverage got underneath the hook and did a great job.
2nd down and 10. Clock stops with 1:04 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Bruins down by 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. Iverson sees an opening, and he is finally driven out of bounds on the far sideline.
Allen Iverson.
But again, not before he gets the first down inside the 25-yard line.
Knocked out of bounds by number 2, Michael Smith.
So the Bruins are still alive. There's still plenty of time for them to get the 2 scores they have to tie the game, but they've really got a tough situation because they really need 3 scores.
Well, 2 scores and 2 two-point conversion, which is always tough to do anyway.
He steps up on right. He just misses by the outside linebacker, and he makes a good play here. Gets up the sideline, gets a good game.
Ball is inside the 25. This is Michael Jackson. And Jackson is down close to the 15, a gain of almost 10 yards.
Well, that was a good call. And that was Sims 49. That was not Jackson on the play. Run that time.
On the play. 2nd down, 2nd and 1.
2nd down and a yard to go. Iverson has all day to pass. Trying to find a man open, has Rogers. The ball is tipped and intercepted in the end zone. I believe the young man who intercepted that ball is number 32. And he has been all over the field so far for Hugenot as well. That would be Russell Harris, a two-way player for Hugenot.
Okay, they're in a one-back set. They ran a crossing pattern with the Twins here to the left side. He's looking for an open receiver and pushes it into the middle of the field. And both of them had a shot at the ball, and the second one they caught it.
But it was two defenders and two offensive receivers.
A lot of
there.
congestion in there.
Yeah.
All right, so again, off the turnover, the Falcons dodge the bullet. And with 13 seconds left in the third quarter, we'll start from their 20-yard line. Finney is stopped and finally wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Anymore, you have to wait until he really is down, because these young men really put a good second effort in there.
And that's the end of the third quarter.
That's the end of the third period of play.
So after 3 quarters, the Bruins trail Hugenot 16-0 as Hugenot capitalized after an Allen Iverson fumble through a bizarre, if lack for another description, pass for the first touchdown, and then a 58-yard scamper on a double reverse, and Hugenot leads 16-0, 12 minutes away from the championship game against EC Glass next Saturday afternoon in Lynchburg. But the Bruins would have a lot to say about that in the next 12 minutes, I'm sure. There you see Dennis Kozlowski on the sideline talking to Xavier Gunn and others, trying to get that offense, or excuse me, the defense rather, to try and get that ball back. The defense has played very well. With the exception of those two plays, they've played superbly well.
It's been 2 big plays. It hasn't been any sustained drives. They haven't been knocking them off the ball. It was just 2 big plays that have hurt them. And outside of that, it's been good defense.
No question about it.
Well, if the Bruins, you're down 16, you got 12 minutes. You got to get the ball back. You got to cause a turnover, causing a punt, but you got to get the ball back, because you got to get a score quick and then get the ball back.
Pitch goes to Finney. Finney turns the right corner and is across the 25 to about the 27. It'll bring up a third down for the Falcons. By the way, we want to take this opportunity to thank the folks here at the University of Richmond Stadium for all of their assistance in our setting up for tonight's ball game for you. And I personally want to thank our camera people and our outside people for enduring miserable weather conditions, an extremely cold evening for Ron Baton, Melvin Hooker, and Jerome Young.
If you see the camera shake a little, it's because the shimmer.
Let me tell you, these guys are the consummate professionals. They do a great job, and they just do it game after game. Our hats off to you, gentlemen. Out to the 35, first down. That's the one thing the Bruins did not want to have happen in this case. They knew they had to put the stop. There you see out the wide open spaces. Yeah, there's the glory of television. There's the young man up there.
That's Mr. Hooker.
Mr. Hooker doing a great job. Watch the replay.
Yeah, it was third down. He ran the little bootleg and nothing was there, and Coles did a good job stepping up, and he covered the ball up, 2 hands, and got the first down.
Ball is just shy of the 35. A first down with 11 minutes and 2 seconds left in the fourth. Oh, what a stick. The ball comes loose. Oh, no. He's called it. Oh, what a terrible call.
Oh, great hit.
How can you have blown the whistle?
He wasn't even down.
Oh, my gracious. Watch this replay.
I'd like to see this. It looks like he gets there just as the handoff comes and hits him, and the ball's loose.
Well, in difference to the officials,
from this angle.
he's right there. He is on top of the play, but boy, it sure did look like a fumble might have occurred. But the whistle had blown according to the referee, and it just went as a superb defensive play. This is that inside reverse. Langhorn will not get loose this time.
Well, Chris Gaskell slowed him down enough.
That's Chris Morant. Chris Morant, number 88, a freshman who's getting a chance to play for one of the few times this year. Chris Morant, a very fine athlete. I'm I'm familiar with him from the Warwick Little League.
This is the play they ran for the touchdown before, and they had 4 or 5 hats around it this time, so they weren't full.
Gaskell, Gunn, and Morant in on the stop. Ball is marked at the 30. It's 3rd down and about 15 to go. Coles feels some pressure, steps up. Robinson misses him. Coles is tripped up at the 38-yard line, but that'll bring up a 4th down now for the Hugenot Falcons. And the Bruins had to have a stop.
Jonathan Dean did a great job that time. He's been playing a great job from his defensive tackle position.
Yeah, they were looking to throw the ball. It's straight drop back. Good pressure. There's been excellent pressure. Looks like there's been some holding going on there also. But he cuts up in, and he's short of the first down by 5 yards.
Bad snap. It goes over the punter's head all the way back inside the 10-yard line. He's going to have to run for his life at this point. And Barry Hargraves takes a shot at him, misses him. Porter, who can run with the football, but he's finally taken down at the 29-yard line, and the Bruins will have great field position.
And I know that the Bruins felt like they should have had him back inside the 10. What a break for the Bruins to get great field position.
Stay under control.
Let me tell you, Curtis Porter has done a great job of punting the ball tonight, and he did a super job this time. Watch where this punt ends up. It's at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, he had to make a great run just to get back to where he did.
But the live action, now we have a stoppage of play. So go ahead and run the replay. You want to watch Porter here.
Yeah, he made a great run.
He just wasn't going to give up. Finally wrestled to the ground.
Hugenot calls the timeout, which gives Kozlowski a chance to talk to his offense. They're going to have to get a score.
Can he get a three-point conversion?
With this possession, they got to get a score.
I really think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. With 8:46 remaining in the 4th quarter, and of course you've got all of the potential to do that. Iverson can run or pass with the ball. He's got good receivers.
You've got plenty of time. Like you said, you got great field position here. You want to be patient. You have to get a score. You know, do the things you've done all season to get you here, and just calm down and get in the end zone.
16-0 the score. Hugenot scoring both touchdowns in the 3rd quarter. The Bruins have been shut out so far, and that's something that hasn't happened to them all year long. Iverson on a 1st down, fakes the short, looks in the corner of the end zone for Kelly Rogers. No, he goes to Demerick Kirk, and Kirk can't hold on to it at the 3. I thought he was going for Rogers in the corner of the end zone, but in fact he went to the short man, Kirk, along the sidelines. Here it is again.
Yeah, it looks like they ran the out and up. Iverson gave him a good pump, and he was wide open down the sideline. He just couldn't bring it in.
So that's the 2nd opportunity for Kirk. He hasn't been able to hold on to it. 8:38 remaining. Hugenot gets good pressure as Eggleston from his defensive end position steps up. Iverson still wants to throw, now does, and he's got Terrell inside the 10.
Well, that was a well-scored play by Allen because it looked like he was going to run, and he knew that if he passed it, he'd get a lot more yardage than running it, Bill.
Well, I'll tell you what's amazing about that play is how he can know where he's at. He steps up into the pocket. He has a great awareness of where he is when he throws this football because he's close to the line of scrimmage, and he hits the man right on the money.
Alfred Terrell inside the 10 at the 7. And by the way, if you think he's quick on the football field, you ought to see him with the round ball. And we will get an opportunity to do that this season as he will play basketball for the Bruins. In the end zone, touchdown, Chris Gaskell. Well, there's the first one that they had to have.
That was a big possession for the Bruins to come away with a score. Now they've got to go for 2, don't they, Bill? They have no choice.
You have to go for 2 here. You're down, you're down by 8 points. Excuse me,
10 points.
10 points, and you need another touchdown, 2-point conversion. That was an excellent play on their part. That's one of their base plays that they've run all year down the goal line.
The Bruins, as you said, forced to go for 2. Iverson looking in the end zone, throws, completes it to Rogers for 2. The ball stripped from Rogers, but not before he had registered the reception and the 2-point conversion. So the Bruins, looking all for as if they might be out of this, have come back within 8.
Here's great play action here. Iverson's got the corner. Now the tight end just leaks out into the corner. He's wide open. This is when the base plays down on the goal line.
Nice touch on the ball.
Do not count the Bruins out of this. Of course, there is no tie in high school football. If we should get to that point, 8:20. It only took the Bruins about 25 seconds to score after the turnover. And I call it a turnover in the sense that it was a turnover.
That's a big mistake on them. Now they've given Bethel a chance to get some momentum and get back in the football game, and Bethel did what they had to get back in the game, just run their base offense and get back and get a score.
Kicking off for the Bruins.
Evans puts it up and whistles all over the field before the ball is fielded. I'm not sure. I don't see any flags.
I don't either.
88 green.
88 green?
Yeah, I didn't have but 4.
88 green, it'd be illegal procedure.
So there'll be a penalty against
It's
Hugenot.
against 88 green.
You could hear the referee Beatty explaining there would be an illegal procedure call against Hugenot, but I'm not sure why they blew the whistle and stopped the play.
I think what you have is that 88 was not in the neutral zone. He was beyond the neutral zone.
Okay. Yeah, you got to have X number of men up at the line.
You've got 5 men, and they got to be 10 yards from the football. They have to be within that 5-yard zone. They can't be in front, and they can't be behind that 5 yards.
All right, so they mark off the penalty. They move it out to the 45. A 10-yard penalty?
No, it's
No,
just
5
5
yards.
A short kick, however. The Bruins in on the stop at the 28, and a late flag comes down. Now what?
Defensive stop made by number 84.
A personal foul against the Bruins. For what?
Flag on the play.
Well, I couldn't really see what happened. There was a lot of activity. The kids were excited, but it didn't seem like there was a personal foul. I guess we can look at the replay.
Let's see the replay if we can possibly determine what that's all about. A 15-yard penalty.
Good short kick, right here in the corner, which makes him run laterally, which takes away his effectiveness.
A late hit.
Yeah, it looks like somebody might have came in late.
Penalty box stall. First down, 1st and 10.
That's a tough call.
I was going to say, a tough call in a crucial situation. You got to sometimes let the players decide what happens in a game. But the call made nonetheless, and 15 yards tacked onto it. Bruins have to come up with a defensive stop, and they do. Finney stopped for loss. Well, the Bruin defense is pumped.
Well, that was 25 Terrell along with your young man, that other freshman that you're talking about, 88. Morant, is that his name?
Yeah, Chris Morant.
Yeah, quick pitch out here, and he goes to step in, dip out. The corner did a great job just keeping outside containment.
Well, that was Terrell that made that
Terrell did a great
initial
job
hit.
out there.
5-yard loss on the play. Second and 15. Again, the Bruins clog it up. No place to go.
And that's big 86 for the Bruins that time, Tim. It looks like, again, that's Maynard, Jason Manor.
James Manor. And another loss on the play.
Here's their off-tackle play, their power play, and there's just nothing there. They're just not getting any type of movement. Yeah, Grainer did a good job. He took on the block and made the play.
3rd down and about 17 to go for Hugenot. Clock moves with 6:35 remaining. Bruins still have 3 timeouts remaining. The pass thrown and intercepted. Devan Hill intercepts at the 39-yard line.
That was the same play they scored the first touchdown on. He throws it up, and the young man runs under.
Big difference in that play was the corner stayed in his deep third and just came in under the play and made the play.
We'll see it again.
Here we go. Splinter's going to run a post. The back's going to come out of the backfield down the sideline, and the corner stayed in his third and does a good job coming right over the top.
Ooh, you know what? If he doesn't make that and the Hugenot player catches it, he's gone. 39-yard line, plenty of time. 6:26 left in the fourth. The Bruins, as I mentioned a minute ago, all three of their timeouts. A little holding going on there, no call. And Iverson goes out of bounds after a loss of about 5. To the officials' credit there, I think someone got away with a slight hold on the offense there. Looked like number 80, Simmons, had a pretty good grasp on the on-rushing lineman.
I think that's payback. I think that's got away with
Watch this right here.
Iverson dips to the outside and just has nowhere to throw it. Hugenot makes a good play.
Loss of 3, second down and 13. Iverson has Rogers, and Rogers has it bounce off of his chest pads.
You gotta catch the ball in your hands.
Yeah.
You can't let it get to your body, and it may be because of the weather that's happening.
Well, you can't let the weather change your habits. You have to catch. Yeah, that's the way you catch the football with your hands. You let it hit your pads, what you see right there. You tell the kid it's going to bounce out.
Well, you know, and I'm not, believe me, I'm not criticizing the receivers, but Iverson has had several drops here that could have made a big difference in this
quite
ball
a few
game.
drops. Well, we're looking at 2 possible touchdowns have been dropped.
Yep, no question about that. Stopping the clock with 6:12 to go, third down and long. Iverson rolling and rolls right back into the defense. He shovels the ball off at the last second to a lineman, and a flag will come down. And that is Jonathan Dean.
Number 55.
Jonathan Dean comes up hobbling.
Jonathan Dean.
And that'll be a penalty. That's an ineligible
We
receiver.
have flags on the play.
Well, if it was a backward pass,
No flag.
no flag. See, if it was a backward pass, I guess it's all right. Yeah, Coach.
Let's see
Coach
what happened here. He was in trouble, and yeah, he threw the ball. He threw the ball backwards, and yeah, it wasn't a pass. That's right. It wasn't a
Jonathan
pass.
Dean is sitting on the bench. He looked like he hurt an ankle or something.
So fourth down at 16 brings Kevin Melvin onto the field. Clock moving with 5:45 remaining. A long count, and this is valuable time coming off the clock. Melvin gets a low end-over-end kick away. Takes a Bruin bounce to the 35-yard line, and they'll cover it there.
Ball is down.
Well, they got to come up with a great defensive series here. With 5.5 to go in the game, and they need to get the ball back.
Yeah, it's a critical time. You don't want to let Hugenot eat much time off the clock. You don't want him to run the football and get a couple first downs, because that could put you in a really bad situation this late in the game.
The Bruins, as again I said, have all 3 timeouts remaining. The quick hitter and a gain of about 5.
That's number 32, Russell Harris on the carry.
That was a good call. They have not run that play many times, but every time they've run it, it's been very successful.
Yeah, most of their plays have been off tackle or on the perimeter, and the times they've run this, it looks like just a quick dive, and he hits up there good and looks possibly 6-7 yards.
They give him, in fact, 5 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 5 just across the 40. Same play, same result, or a similar, at least similar play in its appearance. And that is going to be just shy of the first down by about a foot. Now they're going to, it's close enough to bring the chains across.
Same play to the right, just a quick dive to the fullback. They're not reading it, they're just giving the ball and hitting it quick.
Short by about an inch.
You're good, Tim. I'll tell you, you're good. I wish I had you on the sideline when I was coaching. My guys do a great job, but they're not near that good.
Well, I don't get the moniker Eagle Eye for nothing. We're down to less than 4.5 minutes to go. And they go for the first down. It would appear that they have it, but we'll have to wait and see exactly where they spot the ball. But this will be a big first down, and it is, in fact, a Hugenot first.
That was in Hugenot's favor not to get that first down on second down because it gave them an extra down to kill some time.
Yeah, you'll see this just a quarterback keeper.
Yeah, he does a good job. He doesn't hit up there real quick. He just looks for a little, he just kind of peeks in there and gets the first down.
First and 10, Falcons.
So the Bruins now have to start thinking about putting a timeout on the board, calling one, I should say, to conserve some of this time. But again, a big 8-yard, the ball comes loose.
And the Bruin has it.
A Bruin has it, whether or not, I only hear a whistle
That's
now.
number 25, Terrell just took the ball out of his hands. Terrell, number 25, Alfred Terrell. He's only 5'7", 130, Tim. One of the munchkins, as Kaz calls him.
He has made 2 big plays here in the second half. That catch at the 7-yard line that preceded the touchdown,
Looked
and then
like
this
Hugenot
play.
ran the dive play again and had a good game. And somewhere in the right in there, it came loose, and he came up with the ball. Big play right there. Big
Huge play. 3:33 left in the fourth quarter. The Bruins down by 8. Iverson throws, completes it to, guess who? Terrell. But a short gain. He really needs to get either out of bounds or more yardage.
Well, they marked it back where he went down, but that's not where he caught it.
That was a terrible
Lousy spot.
What happened to forward progress?
Lousy spot.
Second and 9.
Well, it's really of no great consequence because if it was a yard further, it wouldn't have made much difference. But a pretty bad spot, it would appear. Fake the short pass. Iverson, always elusive. Starts to run back in the area of Eggleston, but he doesn't want to do that. He finds the seam. He is still on his feet, close to a first down.
Iverson on the quarterback.
Unbelievable. I run out of words to somehow describe the way he gets away from people.
Just kind of let it go, because I'll tell you, that is some effort there.
How do you explain this?
You don't explain it. It's just an athlete doing what he does best. I mean, he looks like he's dead a couple times. 88, who's a good football player, you know, just misses him. He keeps looking back, he's dipping and he's weaving. And
at 67, knew for sure he would already gone across the other side. He just kind of give
a
up.
couple guys knew they had him and then found nothing.
Well, is he short of the first down, or are they gonna they're gonna measure?
They're gonna measure.
Well, we got 2:35 to go, and I think Kaz called a timeout. We can watch your camera right down on this thing.
Well, there has not been a timeout taken off the scoreboard, so I would assume at this point that it's a timeout for the measure.
All right, let's set him up.
Right. There's going to be second down, but Kaz very alertly uses that time.
Also. They have a timeout.
Well, you heard the referee say he will be taking a timeout as well. So the measurement was as well as a timeout having been called by the Bruins.
Timeout. Bethel.
.235 remain in regulation. We get a chance to see the fumble recovery that occurred prior to this possession. Well, we'll get back to the live action now as they have waved off the timeout, and we have movement by the Hugenot team. And if that is encroachment, it will be a first down.
I'm not sure Bethel had a play on there. I think they just had a long count and pulled them off sides.
First down.
Did you guys use a timeout?
First down for Bethel.
So they register the first down, and even though the Bruins got up to the line of scrimmage after another timeout, they did take a timeout away from them.
First down, first and 10.
On the draw play, this is Bobby Sims, and Sims will be to the 30. Ball popped loose.
They're letting the clock run, and that hurts the Bruins.
I gotta be, I gotta tell you, this officiating crew has not impressed me with their antics this evening.
Yes, some valuable times coming off the clock.
Second down at about 6. Iverson back to pass, feels the rush, gets away, rifles it for Terrell, and does he hold on to it? Stops the clock with 1:53 to go.
And he's close to the first down, but it depends on where he spots it.
It's well short of the first down by about 2 yards at the 27-yard line. So now
here we go. We have Allen drop straight back. He gets to the outside and just kind of freelances and hit him on the out. That's a great catch.
Terrell has done a super job. This is Iverson. Iverson trying to get to the outside. He's got a blocker. Rogers, he'll go in.
Just short.
He's just short.
Bill, you called that last week. You said on that quarterback sneak that you would let Iverson do that occasionally during the game because he's so explosive.
Well, you know, they're throwing the ball so much too, which gets the defensive lineman working upfield. And rather than a draw, I'd rather see Allen run the ball. And then you can see what happened there. They're down around the 1.
First and goal at the 1. Don't forget the Bruins need 2-point conversion if they get the touch. Iverson does not get in. It'll be second down and goal. The Bruins still with 2 timeouts remaining. 1:24 and the clock is moving. Bobby Sims is the fullback. He is a big back, and you saw him a moment ago pop one for about 5 yards, but he is not in the backfield set right now. This is Iverson following the tackle. Touchdown!
Big conversion.
Yeah, you don't have to think about what you have to do here.
We had a scoreless first half. 7 plays, 2 minutes and 10 seconds, 49 yards after the turnover. The Bruins with DeVan Hill making the interception. Some clutch plays and a great run by Iverson.
Terrell making the...
No backs.
And now the Bruins call a timeout. They still have 1 timeout after this, but it's really of no consequence as far as the timeouts are concerned right now. They have to have a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I thought it's good that they had. Yeah, I think that they used the timeout. I thought they'd use one right from the start. Maybe they lined up to see how they would line up, and then go from there.
Here's your touchdown.
I've never seen them run the quarterback sneak and not gain any yards. You know, except maybe for that first one right down there. And he does a good job of getting behind his block.
Well, on that big run that he made, he just shot to the left and outran anything that it looked like the defense was sucked into the middle. They looked for the quarterback sneak, and he just popped it to the outside.
Yeah. Bill, let me ask you something. I know you're not privy to all of the different plays available to the Bruins, obviously, but if you had Allen Iverson and you had this team looking the way it is, what would you do for the 2-point conversion here?
Well, I think what they're going to do is they're going to get Iverson on the corner and give him the option to run or throw the football.
Not dissimilar to a game we saw about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, real similar.
Well, Bill, would you move the ball over to a hash mark?
Leave it in the middle, then they're not sure which way. If you move it to a hash, they'll know which way you're coming.
All right, this is it. 2-point deficit. Iverson fakes, throws in the corner. 2 points.
Whoa, tie game. Woo! Well, now.
A tie ball game, folks. I got to even think real hard about my player of the game.
Who are you going with?
Allen Iverson.
Well, I was going to go with Terrell, but
Well, Terrell certainly is a strong candidate, and this game isn't over yet. We might want to reserve that.
Here's
Hold
the
on.
play. It was no back set. He dropped straight back, and he's looking all the way to Terrell, and he hits him on the post.
That was Terrell. In that case, I got to.
Excuse me, the post corner.
Co-players of the game.
We can do that.
It ain't over yet. And again, we're going to get Mr. D to explain how the overtime works should we get to that point. We still have 1:07 left. But should that happen, we'll get to that. I got to tell you something. I'm about frozen. Our camera people, they get a Purple Heart for whatever they went through tonight. I promise you. Kick taken at the 20-yard line. The Bruins have to be careful. And they put the stick on the return man. So the Bruins had to have 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions and have done it. A 7-yard pass to Chris Gaskell and a 1-yard quarterback sneak by Allen Iverson, and the 2-point conversions to tie the ball game at 16.
I'm anxious to see what Hugenot will do here, if they'll sit on the ball and play for overtime.
I would be surprised if they did. They don't. Coles is tackled at the 20. The Bruins have 1 timeout remaining.
Well, with 38 seconds, they can't stop it enough times, and if you're Hugenot at this point, go for the overtime.
Yeah, I'd have to play for the overtime. I can't understand this.
Screen pass right side for Harris, and he is surrounded by Bruins, and he is back inside the 15-yard line.
You're taking a chance for a turnover. They had a drive going, and it was just a basic play that they turned the ball over. I was surprised they ran those 2 plays.
And they let the time run out.
Plays.
All right, we've talked about overtime before. Let's listen to the crowd. Enjoy the moment.
Tell you what.
Let's see, we got an overtime thing here somewhere. Overtime football information. All right, we're going to return to the University of Richmond Stadium for overtime between the Bruins of Bethel and the Falcons of Hugenot. We'll be right back. All right, let's talk about overtime. I'm going to read this verbatim for you here. When a Virginia High School League game is tied at the end of regulation time, an overtime procedure is used to break the tie. After a short rest period, which I definitely need right now because my heart's beating so fast, the referee meets with the team captains in a coin toss to determine who will get the ball first. One team will get the ball on the opponent's 10-yard line. They will have 4 plays in which to score. Any score will be added to their point total. After this series of play, the other team will get the football at the opponent's 10-yard line. This team will have 4 plays in which to score. Any score will be added to its score. This rotation is called the first overtime.
Let's
listen in on the toss of the coin. It really doesn't matter because both teams will have an equal opportunity.
Heads, and it is a tail. You win the toss. Now you can choose the goal you defend, or you can take the ball. Which do you want? You want the ball. Now which goal do you want to defend? Okay, so you're going to be.
So
green is going to be going in this way.
Death, so
okay.
They're both going to get
Come on this way. Green is
One
going
time,
this
Bill,
way.
if I'm not
Right?
mistaken.
No, got turned around.
The state semifinals.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean to bring up any bad memories, but at least you know what it's about.
One thing I think I disagree with Hugenot. They won the toss. I disagree with the choice to go offense first. I'd rather go defense first. See what Bethel does. Then if Bethel Bethel gets nothing, you can line right up and kick a field goal. If they get a field goal, then you know you need 7 or a field goal to tie. It gives you more. You know what you have to do. You take the ball first. You know, I would rather go defense first.
That's an interesting point because if the other team doesn't score after their 4 tries, you can just kick a field goal.
Just line up and kick 3. And the game's over. You don't have to use all 4 downs.
Interesting. I hadn't given that a lot of thought, and you're absolutely right. I mean, Wilton Evans has already won one game last week for the Bruins, so you know he can kick a field goal.
I wouldn't be surprised if let's say Hugenot doesn't get anything out of this, and they don't seem to have a field goal kicker, so it looks like they have to go for 6. If they don't get anything, I wouldn't be surprised if Bethel lines right up and kick a field goal, and that'd be it.
All right, it's going to be on the Bruin defense, as it has been all year long, and certainly nothing could be more obvious than the fact that the Bruins defense has kept them in this ball game. Just 2 big plays have hurt the Bruins tonight. First down at the 10. You get 4 plays to score. This is Coles. He has a wide open avenue, and he'll race to the corner. He will not get in, however. He'll come up a couple of yards short.
Yeah, they ran a bootleg, and Coles did a good job, and there was nothing there, didn't force it, and he's got good speed, good athlete, and gained about 8 yards.
Here's your replay.
Ball is on the 3-yard line.
Yeah, he gained 7 yards. There he goes. He doesn't force it, and he tries to, he tries to take it straight to the corner. Which is a smart move.
This is Finney, and Finney's going east and west, not north and south. They've got him back for a loss. So it's going to be 3rd down. They're 3rd of 4.
Tim, that was a great defensive. It's defense.
In that situation, you don't want to go sideways. You want to hit straight up. Here he goes. Finney hits up there. He's had a little success doing this, but not down here on the goal line. You need to hit it up in there and get what you can.
The ball is back at the 10-yard line. That same play that Hugenot has used successfully, but they will only get to the 7. It'll be 4th down. Now they'll have one last down to score. Now, Bill, do you go for 3? And force your opponent, but it doesn't help, though, does it?
Well, it helps. It depends what type of kicker you have. And then if you could force them to, Bethel to kick a field goal, then you play another overtime. I think it depends on how strong your kicker is. 4th and 7 is not a high percentage to score. So in my situation with a kicker like Jeff Herman, I'd kick it and hope to play great defense when I'm on the defensive side.
Then, of course, then that allows Bethel the opportunity to go for 4 downs. And then they have the opportunity on a 4th down situation, if obviously within a field goal situation. Then it's kind of a chess game. Yeah, Bob.
I tell you what, you got to take your hat off these cameramen. It is cold out here. But I tell you, these ball players don't feel this thing because you can feel the excitement and the way they're playing this defense. They just did a great job, and I was back at the back of the end zone, and I could see what they were doing. I tell you what, you talk about fired up and want to win this ball games, the Bruins do.
Bob, can you hear me? I guess not. Okay.
Listen, it looks to me like they're going to go for it, Tim. I don't think they have much of a field goal.
I don't think they do either, and I don't have statistics on it. I do know against John Marshall, they failed on both of their kick attempts.
So it's a big play. They've run the bootleg pass a lot in this situation, and I think that would be their go-to play right now.
Coles wants to pass. He lofts it in the corner. It's battle for it. Knocked away. Incomplete. No flag.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Now, Bethel has their choice. They can line right up and kick a field goal. They can try, or they can, take their plays and try to run it in.
Watch the replay here.
Yeah, this looks like a fade route. He's just dropping one step and laying it up into the corner. Number 1, Hill, he did a good job in playing the ball.
Also trying to score.
Well, this brings up the situation. You got Wilton Evans, who we know has the leg. He's had problem kicking extra points, which this would be more similar to than those 37 and 41-yard field goals that he kicked against Norfolk.
Well, it looks to me like they're going to run some offense.
Hey, with Allen Iverson on your team, why not give it a shot?
Well, I think they feel like they can get it in also.
First down,
Well, they don't have anything to lose. If they don't score in 4 downs, then it
take a
starts
chance
over
of the ball getting turned over. That's the only thing. See, every play you run, if you turn the ball over, and then you don't get your other plays, and then you have to start over again.
Right. All right, they picked up 5, so it's at the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal, and this is, to use Bob's favorite term, this is 4-down territory.
Yep. Unless they want to go for the field goal on last down.
Jackson, quick hitter, down to the 2. Hey, if you're short after 3, then you try the field goal, you win the game.
That's right.
Yeah,
they've gotten 8-9 yards on 2 running plays here, and Bethel's line is really coming off the ball. I think they'll get it in on this play.
The adrenaline is flowing freely. Touchdown! That's your ball game!
Just the way they were coming off the ball, I think there's any question they would get in on that last play. Heck of a comeback.
Who got in?
Allen did it, quarterback keeper.
Allen Iverson, quarterback keeper.
They had 3 plays, and they just, the line was just taking them backwards. They got 8 on the 7 or 8 on the first one. Excuse me, 5 on the first one, 3 on the second, and then it just punched quarterback sneak in.
And they still had it down to go if they had needed it.
Yeah, and if they had to, they could have went for the field goal.
Here it is.
Here's the touchdown. Iverson just does a good job of getting it behind the line. You can see the line just taking all the green jerseys back. He's in standing up.
So Bubachuk, as he is called, Allen Iverson, comes through again. The Bruins trailed by 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points. And a furious 4th quarter comeback. Have advanced to the championship game next Saturday afternoon in Lynchburg. EC Glass High School will be the opponent. I thought I got awfully cold in here all of a sudden.
Yeah, we don't need any fresh air, that's for sure.
Alan's stepdad over to my left wanted to leap out through the window to go down there.
A lot of people are leaping right now after that turn of events.
Let's just let our camera people show you the excitement. Just watch and listen. You talk about not quitting.
You have to really believe to come back in a situation like that. You're 16 points down. And, they stayed patient. They got turnovers and took advantage of the turnovers.
What a beat!
I think the fans are real glad to be able to get out there and run around and jump around. To warm up a little bit.
Well, the Bruin magic continues. The Bethel High School Bruins have won the games they've had to win. They just don't seem to get any respect, though. Not to be negative about this, but they beat Malcolm, ranked in the nation's top. They beat Lake Taylor. They beat, previous to that, Hampton, who was ranked nationally, and yet the Bruins were not even mentioned as in contention of or anything else. Mike Keach over the Daily Press had a very interesting point of view, and I agree with it totally. There you see Coach Dennis Kozlowski. The Bruins don't get any respect, but boy,
Hey, Tim, I got Coach Koz here. What a defensive job the guys did when their backs were against the wall.
Well, we changed our defense in the second half, and it really shut down their offense. Our kids never gave up. That's a credit to them. They're very well disciplined in the second half, and what they did offensively to get the ball in those 2 series, just excellent.
Well, I tell you, the pressure when you know you got to get the 2-point conversion, but the guys went up there with confidence. They played with confidence, but the defense is what won it for you tonight.
Well, we got a little concerned there on the first down when we got the ball down to the 2-yard line. Barry Hargraves came back, made a great tackle deep in their backfield to set up a tough play for him. I was surprised they went for it on 4th down at about 15. I thought he'd try to field goal. That was her choice.
Well, I tell you what, in Lynchburg, they were here scouting you. They found the team has got a heck of a heart.
Number 1. Well, we really do. I'll tell you one thing. I sure hope it's not colder up there than it was here.
I can echo exactly what he said. If you couldn't hear him very well, he says he hopes it's not as cold in Lynchburg as it was here tonight.
Well, it'd be tough to beat tonight.
Well, in every respect, because I'll tell you, the Bethel Bruins, they beat a good Lake Taylor team, they beat an excellent Hampton team, then they took on Norcom, who everyone considered to be the class of Division 5, and they beat them. And then they came back this week from a 16-point deficit going into the 4th quarter, and they won it in overtime. If you just have to believe.
Yeah, you just have to.
I got one of the defensive stalwarts there, Barry Hargraves. Barry, the defense really comes to play, especially the second half.
There it is, Daddy. A long way.
Buffalo going to the show. Long way to the show.
Having a little difficulty picking up Barry Hargraves there, but you may have heard one of the fans in the background saying, "We're going to the show."
You can't hear him, but I know you can see him, as he takes up the whole screen.
He certainly does. Well, Bob, again, is wandering around there trying to find various Bruins to interview to celebrate this heart-stopping overtime victory as the Bethel Bruins came from a 16-point deficit, scored 2. Go ahead, Bob.
Tim, I got Sean Robinson. Sean, your defense has done a great job. You've done a great job all year, but the defense really come to play in the second half.
Yes, sir. Well, I felt like we was a little slow in the first half. But we do not like to lose. Psycho-cybernetics, determination. We cannot accept losing. We cannot accept losing. We will do anything we can to win. That's the ultimate goal.
You're being drowned out, Bob, so we're going to break it here and remind everyone the final score again. In overtime, the Bethel Bruins advanced to the state championship game of the Group AAA Division 5 with a 22-16 come-from-behind victory over a very game Hugenot Falcon team out of the Central Region. Bill, any final thoughts from you as we wrap it up?
Well, Tim, the last couple of weeks have been pretty exciting. I just hope we don't have to go double overtime next week. It's been some big finishes here, but it was a tremendous football game, and they don't get, they just keep getting better, don't they?
They really do, and I didn't think that was possible after the Norcom game. So the final score again, 22-16. The Bruins advance to Lynchburg next Saturday afternoon at 1:30. We'd like to see about 10,000 Peninsula fans out there supporting these Bruins. For Bob Hintz and Bill D, this is Tim Cole and a very frozen crew. Our great appreciation to those young men and Bev Penn as well. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.